Hey everybody, I'm back again. Your favorite person to hate. Just joking. I am going to be having a little talk with Miss Patty Cummings about her goals and what she stands for, believes in, and wants to do as far as making a change for our town. So I'm going to turn the camera around, make her feel a little uncomfortable, guys, but we know that she's got this. All right, so I love you all, and thank you for watching. All right. So, Miss Patty, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I apologize for being late. Would you be willing to just tell us, like, what are your beliefs? What do you stand for? Why should people look at you and be like, that's the boss?
Well, thank you. I'm looking at the future of Cape Coral. There are many projects that's been on a standstill for many, many years that people have been promised that will be happening that hasn't happened, and it's time action's taken. It's not about talking the talk. You can look at my history. I walk the walk. And it's about the citizens of Cape Coral. We work for the people. The people don't work for the council. And we need a team of 5 up there to start moving these projects forward. And that's why I think it's very important that people vet out the proper candidates, like who's going to be part of this team to help with the vote of 5. And what a lot of people don't understand is the mayor is not above the council. We have a total of 8 on the dais. So you have 7 districts and 1 mayor. Like it's just 8, right? Mm-hmm. And everything's voted in. So the council hires the city manager, hires the commissioners, the attorneys, everything goes through the city council because we are the government of the body of the city. Mm-hmm. If we don't want something to be done, we have to vote on it. If we want something to be done, we have to vote on it. So you as a citizen call me and say, hey, I have a problem out here in my district, District 4, the garbage isn't being picked up, we're having a problem. You know, it's up to us to try to fix this issue because you voted us in, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So we need to fix the problem, right?
And a lot
Yes.
of people have let us down because they promise you the Golden Gate Bridge and then they turn around and say, sorry, it doesn't exist.
So how do you vet them out? Well, let's take a look at who's in the seat. I'm up against an incumbent. The question is what has she done in almost 6 years? Her legacy. Not a card she wrote on with somebody else of what somebody else thought of doing. But what has she came up with? What has she created to make Cape Coral better is the question. I can guarantee you I'll show up to every meeting. I will be there to vote. I will be involved with the citizens of Cape Coral. And the goal is to make Cape Coral a better place, you know, as we move forward, because we're growing with a population of 210,000. We have 8% commercial, which means 92% of the tax base is paid by the citizens. Do you want to pay that kind of money?
No, ma'am.
No. We need to fix our infrastructure, bring in bigger commercials, better paying jobs, commercial developments for better paying jobs. You can't live off minimum wage anymore. You just can't do it. We got to keep the value of our city up, since these houses went from 400, 500, even to a million, $1.5 million. You cannot devalue your neighborhood. You just can't do it. So we got to think of ways to keep the value going throughout Cape Coral. And bringing in more commercials is going to help you with your tax base too.
What, no, you don't have to answer anything. I already said that if you don't feel comfortable. Are there any things that have been done in the past that you strongly disagree with and will be planning on changing? And how do you plan to be forceful enough to make those changes?
Absolutely. So these permits, this make it almost impossible for these projects to move forward. And you cannot do that to these contractors, these developers. You got to lift these permits. We got to make it easier, an easier turnkey operation for all operations. I can't even believe what I'm witnessing. Some people are taking 150 days before they can get a permit for their projects to move forward. You don't have 150 days. I mean, people are losing their homes because of this. That's not good. Businesses, you know, here's one right here. They were supposed to be moving, and now they can't because of the permits. So now maybe December? You can't do that.
Unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
Yeah, I've made contact. I've attempted to many times, and I get to leave that lovely message with the receptionist or whoever and send emails, and then you never hear back. But you get to hear this great speech about, you know, thank you for calling. I can't wait to talk to you. You're going to be my best friend forever and ever. I love you. Amen. But yeah, who are you? Are you a ghost? Do you exist? Like, Are you just a robot? Like, what are you? What's going on? You're not doing anything. You're not answering calls, and you're doing nothing to prove that you even care because you're not responding. As you said, you will be responding to people if they contact you.
Absolutely. So I'm very old-fashioned. I believe we need to go back to the old way, which is also town hall meetings.
Yes.
And I think it's very important. When people show up, we're going to talk about what's going on in the city. People want answers, and no one's really explaining it to them.
Right.
It doesn't take much to even make a video and explain to the people, and you put it up on your Facebook page or your website or on
Right.
the government page. Talk to the people. They just want to be informed. When you're not informing the citizens are going to get what? Upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're going to start researching and looking into things that you don't want us to.
Right. So inform the people. Be involved with the people. What I think too is, and I've mentioned this, and a lot of people know this about me. Once I'm voted in, I want to put a piece together for social media. So let's say we want to bring in a new ordinance. Okay. But I think the people should vote on it because it's not up to us.
Right.
It's up to us to show them why the ordinance is needed. But what are your thoughts on this? And then if you get 70% saying no, we got to go back in that think tank room as a team and say, look, they said no, and we got to reevaluate this. And are we making a mistake? But if you have 70% saying yes, then we're on the right track.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of smart people here in Cape Coral.
Yeah.
A lot of smart people from amazing backgrounds. So it's important to be involved with your community. And what I feel like, even certain people, that they forget that they work for the people. And I want to be part of a team up there on that dais to where we make good decisions for the people, for our community. And I want to keep Cape Coral beautiful, prosperous, safe, and a family feel. That's why people moved here. And we got to keep it that way. And I am not cutting down Lehigh Acres at all. Lehigh Acres is getting it's looking much better. You have to ask yourself, do you want a Lehigh Acres or you want a Bonita Springs? I want a Bonita Springs.
Yeah, I only go to Lehigh if I have to pass through for something. It's a high and a by, a quick in and out.
But it's beautiful there, right?
It's not. I mean, like, it has some nice points and areas.
In Bonita.
In Bonita, yeah, they're all beautiful. Lehigh does have an okay area here and there, but for the rest of the town, I'm not impressed. I do really enjoy living where I do. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's calm. Everybody seems level-headed and intelligent. We all pretty much, like, even though we don't know each other, everybody that we meet, you can just tell that, like, the head nod and the common decency and the respect of just, like, acknowledging people. No one else does that anywhere else. I'm from the East Coast of Florida. I moved here and I was like, holy heck. I'm like, where am I? Did I go back in time? Because people are just not nice anymore.
How do you feel about having a monopoly going on around out here? Don't you feel like we should have more, like, competitive with?
I want choices.
Like,
I want options.
Excuse Waste Pro, like garbage?
No, absolutely not. I want to choose who I want.
There you go.
Like you said, the monopoly. It's you get who you get, and you're lucky to get it, and smile and nod as they don't do their job.
Choices are good. If you have a choice, what happens? They get competitive. It means
Yeah.
they stay doing their job. They
Absolutely.
get better, and they get more and more creative.
With allowing us to have that choice, it makes everything easier, less stressful, and it does show that we count and we matter, and that's what we want. Because
Exactly.
I cannot tell you how many times I have been let down and disappointed by so many people, whether it's Waste Pro or Joe Schmo down the road. I know that on your card that you mentioned that you have children and rescue animals. I run a rescue.
Nice.
And I have children. So we do have a lot in common there. But do you think that you have anything that you can implement or any plans that nobody knows about that might benefit the kids?
Yeah, speaking about children, kids are very important to me. I have 4 children and 2 granddaughters. And the school board is so important right now because of where our schools are headed.
Thank you.
And it scares me.
Oh my God.
My opponent is for certain books that I'm not for. And these kindergartners, first, second, third, fourth graders should not be reading certain books. We need to get back to
the basic normal. When like I grew up, I'm 40, and we didn't have this crap when I was growing up. I'm sorry, I just went on a rampage the other day in a meeting, and not in a public, like an internet thing. I'm against a lot of the things that garbage they are implementing into the school nowadays.
Yes, it's not good. Our kids shouldn't have to read about rape, molestation, many things. I want to be very careful because we're on video that goes with it, but my opponent calls it literature art.
After a certain age, middle school, high school, third graders don't need to know that. There's no reason
My
to.
5-year-old granddaughter does not need a book read to her about molestation, pedophilia. She needs a book read to her about a dog maybe eating the homework and giggling about it. Well, I have a second paper. You know, the cute little books that we used to read.
Yeah.
Or maybe a book about, other kids playing with etiquette. Please and thank you.
Learning how to write in cursive.
How about autograph the name?
Oh my gosh, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Cursive writing is
don't know how to autograph. My twins want to learn cursive.
My son's high school teacher does not know how to write in cursive. She cannot sign her signature, and that's like the most important thing in the world. You have to learn cursive. So everything now, I write them letters. I've been teaching them cursive since they were younger, but everything I write to them is in cursive. Figure it out, sink or swim.
I asked their teacher, they're sophomores, and it's actually a writing class, but it's not a writing class, it's a computer class. So I said, I think we need to change its title. And I go, so can you do me a favor? Can you teach them how to autograph their name? He's like, well, it's not on the curriculum. And I go, well, why don't you do it for a bonus? We got to get creative for these kids. These kids want to sign their name. How are they going to read in cursive old papers that your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa wrote to you?
Right.
They'll never be able to understand it. They won't be able to understand it.
Not at all.
Think about what's happening.
The Declaration of Independence.
It's all in cursive.
Exactly.
You're on the same.
I'm telling you.
I know. I just met you, so
I can't stand it. It's absolutely absurd, and it's disgusting.
It's called dumbing down.
It's disgusting. I hate it.
Not my kids.
Not mine either. I'm not like that with my children either. I had an issue with last year with a teacher, and I emailed him back. I said, hey, if my kid's doing what he is doing, and you're telling me this is what's happening, give him detention. Once or twice, they'll learn his lesson. He calls me. He's like, I appreciate that you responded. He's like, no one responds to me. I called a lady, and she yelled at me because I called her too early, and she was sleeping. And I woke her up, and I was like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. And he's like, I can't do detention. It's not in the curriculum. They do not have the funding, the money, or the time. He's like, it's too liberal run, and they will not allow us to do anything like that. So,
I'm with you 110%.
So I want changes like that. Yes. I want the old way. The old way is the best way.
I think right now it's not so much a party, because the parties have all destroyed themselves within, because you got all these hidden people within a party. So you're like, okay, who's who? Right. I really believe right now we're in times of good versus evil. And what I'm seeing, that's what I feel in my heart is good versus evil. So if your values are not lining up with a candidate, it's time to really think about, is she really or he really worth voting for?
Well, you have my back. And like I said, you're going out to the internet, my monetized YouTube channel. My husband's going to share this. You're going to get a lot of exposure from us.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate it.
I do appreciate your time. I'm not going to hold you up much longer.
Remember, it starts in the city and it moves into the county, into the state, into the nation, into the world. And the city is so important. It's so important. This is where it begins. You gotta know who you're voting for. You have to. Don't just go off what someone tells you. Look these people up.
Oh, I will look you up later. Trust me.
Thank you.
Very well, and I will look you. I will probably spend about an hour digging. So not to be insulting, but I have to do that. That's just my job as not only a mother but a YouTuber.
Here's my new signature. You know, in 2 years people will be using this. I'm all about our Constitution. I'm about our freedom. I'm about our children,
I love that.
Family, Jesus.
Thank you.
It's important. It's so important. And I know people are like, what does that have to do with City Council? I think it has a lot to do with City Council.
Everything. It's what our country is based on. Why shouldn't it be what the city council is based on?
It's all about morals and values right now. And,
Exactly.
I want to smarten our kids, not dumb our kids.
Yeah.
Not confuse them. You know,
Absolutely.
certain things need to be talked about between the parents and the children. The teachers don't need to be involved. Period. Just
Absolutely.
mathematics.
Mind your
reading,
business.
Writing.
Exactly. You do the school
Yes.
stuff. The rest leave it to the parents. I agree.
Well, it's nice meeting you.
You too. I am going to let you go. I'm going to go hassle your partner over there.
Yeah, thank you so much.
But thank you. And you have my support, so good luck. And I look
Want
forward
better,
to
vote
seeing
better.
you. Exactly. That's why I told everybody. I said, hey, if you want better, get involved and make a change.
Right.
Fight for change. Thank you, Miss Patty.
All right, bye.